Welcome to FiddleHed Fiddle Lessons. Now I'm going to do the tune Fisher's Hornpipe, but I'm going to play it with some variations. And then I'll show you what I did when I'm done. If you don't know the song already, I have a very basic version lesson that I'll put a link to in the comments field below. And if you're a beginner especially, I think you should start with that. And then do this one. If you're more advanced, maybe you can just start with this one. So I'm just going to play it, and then we'll show you what I did that's different than the basic version. So, I'm just going to work through the various parts and just sort of talk roughly about what I did. If you're paying very close attention, you may notice that I didn't do each A part exactly the same, each B part exactly the same, because I'm just sort of loosely playing with the ideas that I've worked through. And so this is less of like an ear training beginner lesson, more just like a way to give you some ideas and some suggestions on what you can do with these tunes. If you do nothing but play the simple melodies, of course, and play them well, that's great. You don't even need, this is all icing on the cake. If you just are sounding good, have a kind of a good rhythm feel, then that's fine. But so the first phrase of Fisher's Hornpipe, the basic version was so I'm adding some various triplets in that. Instead of starting the pickup with 1, 2, I'm starting with a triplet, open 1, 2. Alright, and then I do some similar things later. So the second phrase is, and I add a triplet there. Here's what I did again. Basic again was with triplets. So from the beginning. I'm gonna just make a kind of a more broad suggestion for hoedowns. Practice kind of emphasizing the up bow and using a swing bow, like. And so on. Notice I don't really do it all the time, but anyway, you can practice that on open strings and on scales. That's with double notes. You can also use single notes. Sorry. That was the D major scale, the scale for Fisher's Hornpipe. And if you didn't already do so, I recommend messing around with the scale before you start the tune. It'll open up some doors. Even if you're an advanced student, it'll help you kind of make some connections. Then the second quarter of Fisher's Hornpipe in the A part went a bit like that, and I'm adding some more little triplets to that. is one way to do it. So I do that same thing I did in the first chord, but twice. Alright, and you could even take it further, and another, just a different way to do that is to do this. I'm pretty sure I did that at least once when I played it at first. And so it sounds a little bit wanky, but it's also really fun. Doesn't that sound fun? And I think it's still fairly true to the tune. So that's pretty much it for the triplet ideas. Let's see, let's roll forward. Third quarter. Third chord is the same as the first. And then fourth quarter. I think I might have done that once. And so the basic ending is, and you can sort of throw in some sort of grace note or mordant on the based around the first finger, and third is what I used. You could slow it down and make it a 16th note triplet. Or faster. Alright, very common Irish embellishment. I'll put a link to some Irish embellishment videos below, kind of introduction to 16th note triplets, mordants, grace notes, stuff like that. We won't explain too much of that in this video. So the only other thing I'd added to the A part is some double stops. I like to do use double stops somewhat sparingly as an accent. So like, if we're looking at the basic version, just adding a double stop on like beat 1 and 3, something like. You see how that works? And if you're new to that, I'll put a video for that too, single double stop alternation, but in a nutshell, if you just do this exercise. So a double stop, and we're doing 4/8 notes, the first one is a double stop. Apply that to scales. And then the next step is applying it to a part of a tune, the beginning of Fischer's Hornpipe. Do that much again. And then once you get that, do the next phrase, and eventually you'll be able to just add it at will. And then adding the other embellishments I did. So use what you want out of all that. Maybe a little, maybe all of it, maybe in conjunction with even more stuff or different stuff that you want to add. Let's move on. B part starts like this. That's the basic version. I add a 16th note triplet. Is that a 16th? I think that actually might be. I think that's just an 8th note triplet. Sorry for the confusion. And then on the next phrase, I do the exact same addition. And then on the next phrase, the same thing. So the beginning of the B part is. And then the next phrase in the basic version was. So I take quite a departure here. I'm going to do. So it pretty much, it doesn't sound like the basic version. It kind of follows from the phrase built before. And so I'll break that down. The phrase I added was, so open one, open on E, triplets. And then that's the last part is A, D2, A, low one. It's a little chromatic note, sort of a leading note. So this whole phrase. And then that first finger on A is already the third quarter. Lots of numbers, huh? Here's the whole first half of the B part with my embellishments. Okay, a little slower. Alright, moving on. The third quarter of the B part, basic version. What's the first phrase? And I'll do the same sort of triplet idea. And then on here, on the D, the next part. So the basic version again of the third quarter. And here's my embellished version. And then the fourth quarter, basic version. And now I just do this. Just like the ending of the A part. Alright, and then just as I did in the A part, you can add double stops. You can, I think accenting the downbeat works. So on the beginning, I'm adding an open A. I'm going to add the double stops to the basic version. And then the next phrase, still using open A. Next phrase, open A. Again, the open A functions, the droning open A functions as the double stop drone, but we're just using it as an accent. Beats 1 and 3. Here's the first 3 phrases from the B part. Alright, and then, so basically just take that idea and add it to all the other embellishments I did on the triplets and so forth, and that's how I'm going to play the entire B part slowly with those added. And that's it. Hope that was helpful. See you next time.
Thanks for watching the video. Love you.
Excellent.